Happy Thanksgiving to all my US subscribers. Everybody else, hope you're having a good weekend. Check out this update here. The bananas have started to ripen. So, if you recall, last thing I did was right before it started freezing, I cut down the banana tree from outside, brought it inside to avoid it freezing, going through a frost since we had our first frost in Atlanta. And basically hung it at a small downslope here. So you can see that, the goal was all the nutrients to flow down through the banana, all the sugars, waters, everything come down through the banana or the trunk into the bananas. And it's worked. So if you remember when we brought it in, they were rock solid, not fully plumped out. They're still not, overwhelmingly large. You still kind of see the ridges on the side, but they're soft and squishy and like they're ripe and ready to eat. So we're gonna pop off a couple of these. I will say I saw this like 2 days ago, and just one had started to ripen. It kind of looked like this one, like a very small yellow. I was like, oh man, all right, awesome. I'll take a video. Now it's a day and a half later, and like half of them are almost completely ripe. So if you do this, be ready to watch it because they go fast. So I have a feeling in just a couple more days, these top ones will start getting a little brown and the bottom ones will be completely yellow. So they go fast. So either get ready to freeze them or share them with friends and family. But super excited. This is actually gonna be the first banana that I ever tried that's homegrown, other than one of like the really small green ones that I've had. As you can see, the leaves are starting to die off. I'll probably go ahead and cut those off just to make sure, they don't get any like rot or anything that ends up going down into the bananas. But we're looking pretty good. I actually might cut it off right here just to ensure, nothing gets into them. But extremely, extremely excited about this. When we brought them in, remember they weren't quite big enough. We were a little pessimistic to say the least, this would work. But they had enough time outside where they got enough where, they're ripe and ready to eat now. So let me give you guys a quick update on all the other bananas that I have, and then we'll jump into a taste test here. Here's my Truly Tiny. I ended up bringing it inside because this is one I've been growing for a couple of years now. And I just didn't want it to deal with the frost outside, especially in a pot like this. It's easy to move, as well as it just gets colder around the edges. So it actually gets damaged quicker than it does for one that's like in the ground. It did take a little bit of damage. I'll have to clean this up. So what we're gonna do to clean it up, we'll remove this really small pup. We'll let that one continue going. Early next spring, I'll probably plant that one outside. And then just kind of cut off some of the brown leaves, as well as like some of these. So like for something like this, just cut it right down the middle where you only have the green remaining. But overall, it's looking pretty good. I think, if we looked, down here, underneath the dirt, it's probably completely outgrowing this pot. And that's probably why it's just kind of been stunted on growth lately. It's never really gonna fruit. They don't really fruit at all in general, but in this pot, probably not. But we'll just keep it going. I like the way it looks. It's not looking super healthy right now, but that was really just because of the cold. It should kind of bounce back. Let's go look at the ones outside now that we've had a couple frosts. Here are the bananas outside. So we've had 2 nights where it's gotten below 32, so it's actually freezed here. And then we've had multiple days in the 30s, but typically it's been around like 60s high and like high 40s, low 50s for low. And so you can see the leaves are completely damaged. There's just a little bit of green like at the bottom ones or like halfway down the leaves. But overall, the overall trunks of each of them are really healthy. And then this pup itself is actually just absolutely crushing it. No damage at all, really, which is really surprising considering this one just got absolutely wrecked. So it's really interesting. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna cut off all the brown leaves. We're gonna continue just to push these. I'm not gonna build greenhouses this year. I'm gonna see how these deal with the frost. The Venti coal, this is supposedly the fastest growing banana in the world. or to fruit at least. So we're gonna see what kind of frost resistance it has, and you know, if it does die back to the ground, then we'll see how fast it grows in the spring. But I'm kind of optimistic that you know, we can kind of keep these alive. You know, maybe if we have some really hardcore temperature days, then you know, I'll come like wrap them in blankets or something. But for now, let's keep it going. We're 2 frosts in, and they're still putting out a new leaf. Here's the double Mahoy. I remember it fruited and flowered and fruited, you know, just before the first frost. They're not looking too good. They're starting to kind of rot. Bananas really do not do well once it fruits. The actual plant itself does pretty well when it freezes, just, you know, in the 30s, high 20s. But the fruit does not do well. So it's dying off. These are a lost cause. I'll just need to cut this one down completely, and then we'll see how the pup does. And then here's the dwarf Namwah. So you can see the structure that we had holding it up, and that's where we chopped it down. So that one's completely dead, you know, no longer any growth. The pup that we had, pretty large. It's still growing. We have a couple leaves that had some frost damage. It's really strange how, you know, this is a lower leaf, you know, has a lot of damage there, and then that one's just completely healthy. So it's really interesting. So again, we'll see what kind of frost resistance this one has. But we're really good. It really does not get cold enough here to where you're gonna have an issue with, you know, like the actual root ball dying, especially they're so big and so deep now. No issue at all. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated, but overall, really happy with, you know, obviously the bananas fruiting or ripening indoors, but then just like the survival of these outside. So let's hopefully we get another good early crop next year. But let's jump into the taste test. All right, here we go. Let's cut off a couple here for the taste test. I'm gonna cut off these 2 right here. They seem to be really nicely ripened in a good location. Sorry, these 2 right here. This one's inside, so I just wanna go for the outside too. Let's gently cut them off. Want to make sure not to damage any others in the process. Okay. All right. I got the 2 bananas. Let's take them upstairs and open them up and see how they taste. All right, here's the dwarf Namwah banana that I grew myself. Here's a banana, a Cavendish banana that I got at the grocery store. We got about 6 inches long, probably about 4 inches long. They're actually pretty similar in terms of diameter. Typically this would be more plump if it ripened on the tree outside. It had some more time, but it's pretty good. It's soft. It's about the same consistency in terms of hardness, like when you push on it, but just significantly smaller, as you see. So let's just go ahead and cut into them and see how they taste. Here we go. It's the moment of truth. Taste test: homegrown dwarf Namwah in my own backyard, Atlanta, Georgia, versus a store-bought Cavendish banana. Let's open them up. So first off, starting with the peel quality, very easy to break and open. Please don't anybody give me any crap about opening it from the top. This is how we do it in America, okay? Easy to open as well. Nice and simple, peeled. They look the same. They're both bananas, okay? Now let's jump into it. I'm gonna start with the store-bought Cavendish banana here. Absorbing all the flavor. That's a fantastic banana right there. You can't go wrong with that. Homegrown. That's life-changing right there. It's so creamy, it's It's got a vanilla flavor to it. It almost just kind of melts in your mouth. This is, I almost want to cry. It's life-changing. I've finally taken a bite out of a homegrown banana, and I can promise you that it is worth all of the work, time, effort that went into 3 years to get this. And this is fantastic. It's basically, the consistency is pretty similar. It's, I'd say the biggest difference here is the flavors are all just twice as intense. So it's got a similar flavor profile, but it's just much richer and creamier and just all around better. It's amazing. These will go fast. So I'll be sharing them around to people in Atlanta, but overall amazing. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll keep you guys updated with these. Maybe we'll find like some desserts or like some way to cook with these, but absolutely amazing. Definitely recommend. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. See you guys.